everybody. I'm Casey Oakley. Good to see y'all again. I'm with 3W Magazine. Welcome back to another Who What Wear podcast. I have my dear friend Julie Barber with me. Julie, welcome.
Thank you, Casey.
I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
It's a little frantic right now, so this will come out in a couple of weeks. However, school starts tomorrow.
Yes, it does.
And we were both chatting about the insanity because our nannies are gone. They're doing all their rush stuff.
Yes.
But we still have kids to take care of.
Yes, we do. And work and husbands and all the other things.
All the things. I'm like, can you drop whoever off at 10? He's like, I have a meeting. And I'm like, okay, I'll just handle that.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
Same
fine.
situation at our house.
It's fine. Julie, what do you do?
So I work at Walmart. I lead our general merchandise organization. So my team is buying all the things at Walmart online and in the store that are not on the food and consumable side. So a lot of fun stuff.
You walk into the store, at least let's just walk into 5260
Yes.
and let's just take out the right side of the store. And
Yes.
let's focus on the left and the middle.
That's exactly
Right?
right. Yeah. You walk in, all that seasonal stuff that right now is back to school. My team bought all of that product and all of the stuff behind it, and to the left, outdoor and all the things. So
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's fun though.
A lot, though.
Yes,
You have
it is.
a lot.
Yes.
But that means you never get bored.
That's right. There's always change, new product, innovation. It's fantastic.
I love that because I'm like, oh, I talked to a friend years ago and she's like, yeah, I buy fresh chicken. And I'm like, that is absolutely thrilling.
Yes, thrilling. Yes.
Right? I can't think of anything better
That's
to
right.
do.
That's right.
But I'm like, I feel like you have kind of a fun job.
Yes, this is a fun one. The only thing that I haven't been able to buy that I want to buy is candy. That feels like a really fun job too,
that
right?
sounds like a joy.
Yes.
But your friend, Melody,
Yes,
she's
she
on
does.
snacks.
Oh yeah, she is.
And pantry.
I had snacks before and it was great, but I just didn't get quite to the candy. I think she's got.
But,
the
oh my
candy now.
God! Speaking of snacks, I know we're gonna jump around because I'm an organized human, but not in talking to people. So, you spoke at Next Up recently,
I did,
and
yeah.
you touched on snacks. You
Yes.
kept weaving them into the talk.
I know. You know, early in my career, I graduated college and I interviewed with a few different suppliers. One of them at the time was Kraft Heinz, and it's when they own Mondelez brands and
You can't beat those
Oreo
snacks.
and all the others. And I was interviewing there and a few other places, including Walmart. And of course, Walmart jumped first and said, "We want to offer you a role." I remember calling my dad and
But it
saying,
wasn't merchandising.
No, it wasn't merchandising. And I was like, I really want to go over. I really like these snacks. And Dad was like, well, you can contact them and see if they're going to give you a job. Or you can accept this other job, whatever you need to do. I contacted them and they were like, we're very early in the process. We don't know if we're going to hire you. Do what you need to do.
But I want to push Oreos.
Yes, so exactly. I ended up at Walmart, but thankfully that snacks came back in. It took maybe 7 or 8 years to get there, but I did lead snacks at Walmart for a while, so I got to taste a lot of Oreos in that time.
Oh, that's fun because they keep innovating.
Yes, they
Not
do.
that we're here to talk about Oreos, but they keep innovating,
do.
so I can't complain. Okay, well, let's touch on your career. Let's go back to we know what you do. What is 24 hours, or I don't even know what a workday is. Tell me what a workday looks like.
Yeah, my workday for me, it's sort of ebbed and flowed over time. But today, well, not today.
Today's
the last
special.
day of summer. But tomorrow, when we get back to school, I have really tried to balance, if that's the right word, how I spend my time at work and how I spend my time at home. And my husband and I, quite a few years ago, I knew that if I get to work early, that I can get sort of this time for me.
What's early?
Early for me is I get to work about 6:45 or 7
Okay.
most days, which is, I think, in time pretty early. It's
I
pretty
think
quiet.
that's pretty early.
Pretty quiet at my office. There's a lot of people that get there earlier than that. That's not me.
Well,
But-
I drive by home
Yes.
office around, so I drive by at 5 a.m. and then at 6:30, and I'm like, inevitably there's someone crossing 8th Street.
Yeah, people are definitely starting to come in at 6:35. Those people are really early people.
Can you get in at 5?
Yeah, you can get in that office anytime you want. If you want to go work at
It's
night.
so great.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful.
Open for people to sort of do what they need to do.
I
But
like that.
my husband and I sort of made this deal. I don't know if it's a deal or not a deal. He may hate the deal, but where he kind of manufactures getting the kids out of the house.
Oh.
He's the lunch maker.
Okay.
He gets the kids out of the house. I get up. I kind of shake people awake, say I love them, sneak out the house. And then in the afternoon, he does sort of the afternoon work till 5 plus.
Okay.
I, for the most part, I really try to get out of the office like 4:30. I like to get a run in. I get to exercise. I'm the one that if a kid has something, I'm trying to get them.
You
there.
handle it.
Yes.
Okay. You're the afternoon Uber.
I'm the afternoon Uber. I have 3 kids.
Yes.
I have a great, amazing helper nanny that helps me. She's in college. She's fantastic. And I have my husband. And my parents moved to Northwest Arkansas as well. So I have this sort of community that helps me.
You have a good village.
Yes, a very good village. Now, I've found lately my parents, they love to travel now.
Now that throws a wrench in things when they move closer.
Yes.
They're like, well, I'm out of town. And I'm like, that's not working
that's
for me.
Right. Like, I thought you could take Coleman to the orthodontist at 4 p.m. today.
Right.
We're traveling.
Sorry.
But in general, it does take a village to help. But my work day is, fairly early in the morning, leave at 4 to 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
I try to always have a break in the middle. My assistant, she's also amazing.
Oh, Brittany.
She's
amazing.
She is so amazing.
I don't know. I should probably LinkedIn Brittany just to see what she looks like because I feel like we're fast friends on email, and I'm like, I love her.
My favorite part about her is she anticipates everything. She'll say, "Oh, I saw you talking to this person. I heard you mention let's get lunch. I've already working with her A to put it on, her EA to put it on the calendar, but she gives me these little breaks throughout the day for sanity."
Do you take a lunch break?
I very rarely leave for lunch.
Okay.
And it's not because I don't want to. It's just my personality is like when I'm at work, let's get it done.
Right.
And it's hard in Bentonville.
We live in a traffic cone.
That's exactly right. To leave the office, to go have lunch,
No.
spend time with someone, or even on my own, come back. It's hard to do.
It's too hard.
I'm a cafeteria eater, a cross bar eater.
Can you eat quietly?
Yeah.
If you have to go?
She gives me usually about 30 minutes. I might close my door in my office or just like find a quiet place.
Yeah, because I'm like, going out to lunch, networking or just chilling out with a friend is so great, but also I need that recharge time.
Me too. In the middle of the day, just something to relax you. There's a lot going on.
And then the new office, but you're going to have lots of open space at this new campus.
Yes, we're excited. I think they've been slowly giving us hints of like when things are going to happen, what our building is. But
did you see the video on LinkedIn?
Yes. Oh, they're showing it at work frequently. And I know, I don't think I'm supposed to tell you. I know what office my team is going to be in. We're moving in January, and they are really excited.
I am shocked it's January.
I know.
I was mind blown when I saw the video last week.
It's been a journey, though. I feel like I've worked at Walmart. It'll be 20 years in October.
That's a long time.
It's a
Congratulations.
long time. I remember when they first announced this. This is like pre-COVID, and we were pretty excited. Mm-hmm. And it feels like that was a long time ago. Yet it kind of stuck up on us.
It did. We drove by it all the time. I don't know why I say a few weeks ago. That's a complete lie. Recently. And I was like, gosh, I can't believe this is going to happen in January. And I'm like, I feel like it went up overnight. And my husband goes, it was announced before COVID. This has been in the works for a long time. And I'm like, I have no recollection of anything before COVID, so to me it went up overnight.
Yeah, the same for me. I don't have a lot of recollection before COVID either.
I bet you don't. Nobody in retail or healthcare knows what happened before COVID. You're like, I just want to block that out. Even though we learned a lot. I'm sure you all
did learn a lot.
We did
learn a lot.
Amounts of information. Wow, I love that. Okay, so that's what a typical work day is, 6:45 to 4:30. That's a long work day, I'm not going to lie, because I work out at 5:30 and then I get home at 6:30 and then I'm hustling to make an 8. But now I just found out my 14-year-old starts high school. Well, I know he starts high school, but he has a late start at 8:55 and I'm like, balls, that is so late. Who starts their day at 9?
Yeah, Thursdays. That's what they do. My son goes to Rogers. He's going into 10th grade. Yeah, 8:53 or something like that. I'm like, what parent can take a kid?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And I'm not even sure what the late start is for, but I'm sure it's very important.
I'm sure.
But it is not great
and then
for
get
parents.
out till like 4.
Yes.
And I'm like, we have things to do. We can't start our afternoon at 4. We're going to for 9 months.
Yes.
Yay. But
here we go.
Oh my gosh, if we need that early start next year.
Yes.
Well, what is this? 9 to 4. Who do y'all think you are?
Maybe all work in Bentonville, Rogers area should start at 9 on Thursdays.
I like that. We'll take it up with the mayor. She's running for re-election in Bentonville.
Okay.
And she'll be on the podcast soon. I'll put that.
Okay.
I'll put that bug in her ear.
Yes.
That'll be good. Okay, so we touched on next step. So you did talk about your climb. Talk about.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the job at Kraft. You did not get the job at Kraft. You just took the job with Walmart.
Who knows? I probably wouldn't have gotten it. I think, my journey is super interesting because when I was growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
I grew up, right?
Yeah, Arkansas.
Right.
Grew up in Central Arkansas, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and it was fantastic. She, I remember she was like PTO president, homeroom mom, in all kinds of organizations. She was always there, sort of like taking care of things. And I thought that was like a fantastic life.
Absolutely.
And I have 2 siblings, and I really loved having 2 siblings. So I knew at a fairly young age, like, I want to have kids. I love this sort of family life. I love this connection. Like, if I've already sort of subscribed to, like, you have this family unit. And so, like, even if some things out here are not what you want, like, you have this family unit that's pretty good.
Absolutely. It's like your safe space.
It is. It's your safe space. And so I knew I wanted to do that. Now, I'm the oldest of 3 kids, and I knew I needed to get a job when I graduated. There was no question of, like, you're going to college and you're going to get a good job. But I never really thought of myself while I excelled in school and was very involved. I didn't think of myself in a, like, I want to be a fantastic
career person. Right.
But when I got to Walmart, I got going and I felt a lot of fulfillment from it. And so my career was probably, there's so many amazing people and I see these young people, like I've just been with the class of interns last week and they did presentations and they know where they want to go and they're so smart and thoughtful about their career. I really wasn't there. I was more in a mode of, wow, I really like this and this is working. And
it's a changing of the tides.
It is.
And it's very split.
It is very
to me.
split.
There's not a lot of middle in that
I agree.
feeling. You've got a big sector of gung ho. I know what the plan is.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of
I don't know.
I don't really know. Yeah. And I don't know.
The ones
I feel
that
like
sort of
it's
stress
very
their parents out a little.
Yes, I feel like it's very divided. More divided than when we were growing up.
Yes, I think it is too. And it's interesting, especially like, you have a 14-year-old, I have a 15-year-old, where it's like, oh, I hope that they're starting to think about it. I'm not sure they are. I'm not going to worry about it yet.
Right.
But I see these people, these amazing young people coming out of college, doing these internships, thinking about their career. And I think it took me a little while at Walmart to say, oh, wow, I can have an amazing career and I can be a mom. And along the journey, there were different steps. We talk about, I often talk about, I was about 5 years into my career when I had my first son. And I needed to go, our younger kids went to daycare together, but our oldest, we were going to the same daycare. I don't know if you remember this, but it closed at 5:30.
Yes, it did.
Right?
Yes.
And which in general you would say, of course 5:30 is plenty.
Not here.
But
not in general.
That's right. When I worked at Walmart, earlier in the days, we worked 7:30 to 5:30. They opened, our daycare opened really early, like 6:30. So I could drop off, but the pickup was like a bad situation. And I remember going to my first boss after I'd had a child and saying, hey, listen, I need to have a discussion with you. I can't work till 5:30. I can only work till 5. And it was like a pivotal moment for me because I said, I'll be here by 7. And he said, okay. And I think he was sort of thinking like, I don't know if this is going to work for this lady, but let's try it out.
There wasn't forward thinking.
There wasn't, yeah. And I did it, and he was really receptive to it. And it was a pivotal moment to me where I was like, I can work and be a great mom.
Yes.
And that, and my husband, getting help. And so over time, one of the things that was really important to me was like this allowing of people, men, women, whoever, that they could have a great career and be a great parent. So as I moved through my career, I started to recognize these little moments where I could take the things that happened to me and make sure that the team felt those too. Be a great, amazing career person, but also bring in your family life.
For sure.
Or if for me, it was kids. For other people on my team, they have a love for an activity or a love to travel or to be with their other parts of their family. Like having that balance.
Yes.
And it's a little bit early shift at Walmart to start
yes.
thinking about it, but I had surrounded with a lot of fantastic leaders in my career that were accepting of that.
Right. That's hard though.
It is
We
so
weren't
hard.
taught that.
No.
You are supposed to have to choose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Either you want to be a stay-at-home mom or you want to go to work.
Yes.
And you're not supposed to be able to do both
No,
or have
not
to
at
do
all.
both. This is what struck out to me, and this is when I emailed you, because you were up for a promotion or you were applying for something, maybe lateral,
Yep.
vertical, I don't know.
Yep.
And I think the person, I assume it was a gentleman, I don't 100% know. I asked how many kids you have, or even if
How
you had,
old your kids
how
are.
old your kids are. I'm like, that is, I wish I could say that's irrelevant, but I'm like, also family, kids, it brings experience to our lives and a
Definitely.
different lens as to how we treat
Definitely.
people. You've
Yeah.
touched on that too.
Yeah, I think for me, so in the middle of sort of continuing to think about upward career mobility, having a discussion with someone and they asked me how old my kids were. And I know 150% that this person was not thinking about me in a way that like that was a bad thing. It was really a I want to make sure you're successful.
Oh.
Right? But
that's not how I took it.
right, but it's still while it is about wanting me to be successful, I feel like if I was a man, that question never would have been asked.
I totally agree.
And so it was a little bit of a, there's still some things that we're going to have to
Yes.
overcome. And while they do want me to be successful, and what they don't want is for me to take a role and then my family say, no, I think we can do it in a different way.
Right.
I think we have to say, if this lady says that she thinks she can do it, we have to give her a chance to do it and
Right.
not ask questions about her support system
Right.
around her in a way that feels like maybe you shouldn't take this job if you have young kids or, not enough people in your village to help.
Right.
And so one of the things that it struck me, and this has been a little while, it struck me as what not to do or what not to say.
Right.
Because while it was positive intention, I really didn't like it.
Right.
And so in a different person, and I just happened to be having one of those days where I was ready to be bold and fight back, which has not always been how I've been. Not everybody may feel that they can do that. And I've had, like, throughout my journey, I've tried to have mentor circles where I brought people together and told them sort of like my mishaps or the times that were hard for me, which are the times where like you have the pit in the stomach when you're 28 years old with your first child going in to tell your boss like, hey, I'm just coming back from leave and I want to let you know that I am not going to be working till 5:30 anymore, only 5. Or the time when you're like,
I'll see you at 7.
yeah, that's right. Or the time when you're like, hey, I have this thing for my child, or all the different
Right,
pits in
all
your
the things
stomach
that-
that have
yes.
to do with
The other choice.
the other choice. Or the third choice that I'm making these days is like my dentist I keep canceling, right? My teeth. But how do you tell people about that and that it's okay to be bold? And it took me a while to feel like being bold was okay.
I think being bold is really hard. I'm
is.
a lot of bark and no bite.
Me too. I think when we were having the next step conversation a few weeks ago, I don't tell this very often, but it really was another time in my career where being bold, somebody from afar that didn't know me then decided, and this was a woman, to tell a few other people that I was a BITCA.
Oh, right. Yes.
Which is so interesting because really I was not just standing up for myself in these instances where I'm trying to help. I really, like, my sort of like mission in life is not about me. It's about all the people that work for me or around me and thinking about how can they take my job? How can they take our CEO's job?
Yes, you talked about that.
I
You are
love
so
that.
ready. Ready isn't the right word, but you're so excited for when all these bloomers take over their jobs.
That's right. I want to inspire people to feel like they can do whatever they want. And I think it took me a long time to feel like I could do like sort of whatever goals I had.
Right. It does take a
that's-
long time.
And even now I still have like imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
Right?
Who
Of
doesn't?
course, right? Like there's moments where I'm like,
Yes.
oh, you felt that way for a while, but like then there's a little pullback. Like, well, can I really do
Right.
that? But if I can encourage people around me to do that, they are going to take over, and everything about Walmart is going to continue to be better and better, or any company that they work
Absolutely.
for. Or if there's another, this is probably not incredibly popular, but I've had people who are like, hey, I want to let you know I think I'm going to leave the company. For whatever reason that may be. And every time it's not like, I'm mad at you. It's fantastic. You have to do what's right for you and your family and your goals and your dreams. And this sort of thinking about all the people around me, raising them up and pulling back. I mean, I'm competitive. I'm very competitive. But I think there's a way that's like individually competitive that I used to be. Like, oh, I made all my numbers. I'm fantastic.
Yay me.
Yay me.
But somebody redirected you on that.
And then it was like, oh, wow, yes, I do want to hire people better than me because someday they're going to take my job. And while I'm in my job, I can help lead them, guide them, remove obstacles, but they're going to make my job so much easier because they're so amazing.
Yes.
And that's it's definitely a mind shift that happens over time.
Absolutely.
It's taken us almost 20 years in a career.
Yes.
To ever, if you asked me 20 years ago, like, do you want to hire people that are better than yourself?
No.
I would have been like,
I want to shine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I want to shine. I want to make a little bit more money so I can take care of my family. I want to raise up in the company.
Yes.
But it just changed over time. Like, what's my end goal and why?
Right. I think that's a gift of age.
Yeah, right?
Right? Because, I mean, we're all hustling. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, that's how it is for me. I just kind of got to the point, I was like, well, I kind of have 0 Fs.
Yeah.
But not in a negative way.
Yes.
I'm like, this is who I am. I've got to stop posing as somebody who is uber professional.
Yep.
It's not me. I stick my foot in my mouth. I am a hugger and a lover.
I'm a hugger too.
And I'm like, I don't have the circle back, low hanging fruit, I don't have that mentality. I am just call it like it is and let's figure it out. We don't need 45 conference calls. Let's just handle
That's
it.
right. Same.
Right?
And I think that's great. For a long time, I tried to keep my work life and my personal life pretty separate. And I still do to some just instances. But when I go home, I'm like I lose my keys, I lose my driver's license, I'm kind of scattered.
Do you have your phone near you?
Yeah, my phone I try to have. My son that's 15 has to go to Find My often for me to find my phone. I'm just sort of like a little bit, and my husband talks about my closet. He knows when things are getting overwhelming because when he walks in my closet, it looks like a bomb went off. But at work, I try to come across like so professional.
For sure.
And everything is so
buttoned
good.
up.
But over time, I start to realize like, and back to Brittany, like my EA, like she knows like, oh, right, I need help rein her in, or hey, go get some lunch or whatever. And there was a long time I kept it separate, but then I realized like, no, that's just who I am.
It's just who we are.
And I'm okay with that.
Yes. Well, speaking of personal life, so let's talk about the kids. So we just talked about the 15-year-old, and he's going to get his hardship license so that he can be semi-responsible and get himself to school.
Yes.
And he's plays sports. I think he plays baseball.
High school baseball.
Okay.
And yes, he's going to start driving. He has 4 months of being able to drive with a hardship, starting tomorrow to school. I'm a bit nervous, but he's a very he's a great kid.
Is he the responsible one?
He's the responsible one.
Are the other two fireballs? Because they're twins.
Yes, they're twins, and they are fireballs.
Are they going into 4th or 5th?
5th. They're going to 5th, and we just went to meet the teacher, and they are fireballs, but they're also like very interesting. They're very different personalities, but then when they're together, they love each other, but then they also kind of
they're
dislike
boy-girl.
each other. Boy-girl. And I think that's helpful. To be honest, the boy does all his sports and all the things he does, and my daughter's a dancer and she loves dance and tumble, and so for them, there isn't necessarily competitive,
right?
Which I appreciate because it is competitive in the world of kids and kids sports these
it's
days.
Psychotic.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
absolutely psychotic.
Right? Like if you don't make, if you didn't start playing basketball at the age of 3, you might not play in high school.
Right.
That's not that bad, but it is kind of crazy.
Settle on your sport now.
Yes.
Right? I mean, when did the 15-year-old, when did he start travel ball?
He started 7U travel baseball.
Right? Ridiculous.
Right.
They don't know what they're doing at 7.
What's so interesting about that is back then, there weren't that many teams. Like I remember playing the same few sort of teams in Northwest Arkansas. Now I bet there is 100 7U teams. That's probably too many. But
Well, it's
crazy.
a solid moneymaker. Like,
Yes,
if
it
you
is.
think about it, you can have 4, 5, 7U, 8U teams in one organization. Like, those parents will pay anything because I've been there, done that. I'm like, for sure. Yeah.
I've definitely mellowed over time on that stuff, which for my 15-year-old, he's probably, it didn't hit him. But for my other two, I'm like, I just want you, like, if you love this, let's keep doing it. I want you to work hard, but I'm not gonna just totally worry about if you make that team or if you're this or that. Like, just do what you love, work hard. Like, we're all about working hard. But at some point, like, my oldest, my mom is big on like giving her kids books and things at Christmas. You know, she's the book, all the different, the present, whatever. The Sports Illustrated Kids magazine she got for my son. This is like 7 or 8 years ago, and why I read it, I don't know. But I read this article in there, and it was like, probably it was on the cover. Like, the percentage of kids that play sports when they're kids is high when they're young. When they get to high school, like, it definitely starts to drop. When it gets to college, it's like minuscule. When it gets to pros, it's like nobody hardly.
Right.
And this just sort of balancing mindset of like, enjoy it. Like,
Yes.
don't worry about getting to the pros in 7U. Like, if you get to the MLB, now, if they get, you know.
I love that. Chase's hitting coach, so the 14-year-old plays all the baseball, and he's like really concerned about that batting average at the end of the year with the game changer.
Yes.
Also, game changer. Like, give me a break. So, and his hitting coach is like, no one cares what your 12U stats were.
That's right.
And I'm like, that's good.
That's
I'm going to
good.
steal that.
I know.
Yeah.
I was pleased in high school. Coleman played his first year of high school, and they have a great team. And it was
the
fun.
Mounties, they're like champions or something.
Yes, Coach Melson and Coach Bunch and Coach Heather. They're really great. And one of the things that was actually super fantastic was in freshman ball, they don't use Game Changer. It was
so amazing. So amazing.
It was kind of fun to
also,
kind of
if they do Game Changer, a coach needs to run it.
Yeah.
So that's it. No parents,
No
nothing.
parents, too much
I'm sure all
judgment.
those parents have the best intent, but you're like, get out.
Yeah, let's not ruin a weekend because we called an error. I know.
What about the two little ones? What's the little boy do?
So he plays lots of baseball.
Okay.
And he plays football.
Because he looks up to Big Brother.
And he plays football. And
Are we tackling?
We're tackling. This is our second or third year of tackle football, which is sort of nervous for me, but he's still. While my husband and I are tall people, it takes a little while for our kids to get there.
Yes.
My 15-year-old he's just grown like 6 inches in
How tall
6
is he?
months. He's 6'1" right now.
Oh, okay.
So all of a
he
sudden,
just went 6
he just
inches
started growing.
Oh,
yes, I
gosh.
can't wait to take him to his wellness visit to see what they say. Like, this is me doing some calculations on
right.
it. But my other two, Olivia, my daughter, has gotten a little bit taller. My son will. Like, you look around, he's short. And then you're like, look at his parents. Like, I am 5'8", clearly wearing a lot of heels, so it seems taller. My husband is 6'3". Like, our kids are going to be tall.
They're not going to be short.
But because of that, which I'm sort of thankful for, is he's playing like more receiver.
Oh, okay.
And,
Less,
less of the tackling type of positions.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. I'm just enjoying watching it play out.
Are you the screamer and yeller?
I would love to say that I am not. I'm a big cheerleader.
Okay, yes.
I'm not really a cheerleader, but I am in these sports. I like to say, like, every kid goes up to bat. Like,
are you cheering
let's go
for him?
Will,
Yes.
let's go Coleman, let's go every kid.
Yes.
But then every once in a while I get a little too excited, and my kids will tell me
yes.
Hey. And I got that from my father. He's also
Chase
like that.
is like, I can hear you in the outfield.
Yes,
I'm like,
same.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know that was who I was going to be.
Me either, but you're just so excited and then frustrated. And
yes. Have you seen the memes and gifs of that crazy, and I don't know her. I just can't remember her name. The crazy LSU basketball coach.
No,
with the sequins.
Oh, I have, yes, and she always looks so lovely.
Lovely, and then
Yes.
she's like, Rawr! And I'm
Yes.
like, that's me.
Me too, because often and
100%.
frequent, definitely for school sports, I'm going straight from work, and I mostly wear dresses, so I'm often in my work clothes there. Yeah, it's kind of like a
So
crazy
you're the
woman.
LSU coach. Well, I'll have to find her. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm like,
I don't
you're
think
like,
I'm quite as fancy as her, but yes, I'm definitely going to think lots of things in my work clothes, and people are wondering what is she doing?
I used to run out. So this was when I had to be at every game and
Yes.
every practice in my early mothering and early magazine
we were so
days.
good early mothers.
Right.
Yes.
And I would just run and pick up one and get him to where he needed to be. But the baby was annoying. I love him, but he was always running on the soccer field, and I'm always chasing him into the middle of the soccer field in my heels.
Yes.
And my girlfriends are all like, "Oh, I'll never forget this tulle skirt that you ran out." And I'm like, "Yeah, those days are gone."
Yeah, they
try
talk
to
to
keep
they,
a change of clothes.
I have one friend. She reminds me often. Her oldest son is my oldest son's age. Of when I had the twins. That the first year ish that Coleman was playing like travel baseball or something. It might have been the year before they played travel baseball. The twins were little, and I had this big, huge double stroller, and I was like teeter-tottering on my heels,
Yes.
pushing that. Thankfully, yeah, thankfully they can walk now.
Do you remember Giselle Reese?
Yes,
back
she
in the
was
day?
amazing.
I love
Everybody
her.
looked up to her.
I love her.
at
I
work.
always
She was
wanted to be
amazing.
her when I grew up. Still trying to do that. She came and spoke at a Mercy event for us,
awesome.
and she said, "There's no work-life balance. There's
Yep.
work and there's life, and you figure it out. But
Yep.
there is no. That is a complete myth. There is no work-life balance." And I'm like, "Oh, I love you for saying that."
Yeah, and I agree, and I think there's very few days where it's like, oh, I balanced that better than that.
Right.
Right? Like, maybe it's tomorrow, because tomorrow it's like, okay, first day of school, do we get that board? Do we write on it? Will the oldest actually hold it? Probably not. Oh, do we
You
get
gotta force
donuts
it.
in the neighborhood? Do we make it there? Do
Right.
we make it on time? How frustrated are we trying to get to work with all the traffic that
Right.
came back? Like, what worked? And it's not equal, and every day is different, and I
But
think
once
it's
we realize
okay.
that, we're
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Right?
Like, we don't have to be perfect.
No.
And we
And,
don't have
but
to,
you don't expect your team to be perfect.
Definitely
Like,
not.
I feel
Oh, no,
like
definitely
from a
not.
management point of view, it's shifted, right?
I agree. Yeah, I think
and
so.
I'm more empathetic.
I think I'm more empathetic. I think the leaders at Walmart, they have different things that are important to them. They have kids, they have like activities, hobbies, and it isn't, while the job is hard and challenging and we need to be there and work hard, there is a lot more ability to live your life as
Right.
well.
There's a
You
bit
should
more
have
grace
to.
these days.
Definitely. Grace
Yes.
is the perfect word.
Yes. Does your mom say to you, like, "I just don't know how you do it. Y'all are so busy."
Yes.
And
Well,
she raised 3 kids, but I feel like our humans and humans going forward are way busier than we were when we were
definitely.
growing up.
Yeah, I think so too. The thing about it that's interesting about my mom is, instead of like even say that, all of a sudden it's like, oh, my mom did this for one of my kids. Oh, my mom did this. My oldest, I laugh at these stories that like sort of come out of nowhere, where my mom will say, yeah, Coleman reached out because he left this book, English book at home. So he called me, I went and got it, brought it up to the high school. Like, me, don't even know. So my family, they know and accept like what I can do, what my husband can do, what my mom can do.
I love that.
And
That's a
they
big deal.
realize
That's kind
it's
of a
huge
win.
deal. My mom, like, so thankful for my parents, and not everyone has that, and it is such a joy. And the other thing will be like, my husband and I, because of all this sort of stuff that's kind of crazy, we try to do a lot of stuff with our kids, take them, vacation when we
Yeah,
can.
you gotta
all
create
the
the
things.
memories.
But the one thing that we have done a fairly successful job is he and I will go do something on our own. And my
Okay.
mom is always like, okay, let me put it on my
We are so
calendar.
bad
I will
at
take
that.
care of the kids.
We are so bad at it. We don't mean to be.
No, we at least one time a year. Like, let's try to get away. I know one time a year, that doesn't feel bad. But
But it's hard. And then, do you
is.
have guilt?
no,
Okay, I
No.
do. And then I'm like, why do I have this guilt? I think it's because I only have them till I only have them till I'm 18 or
Yeah,
they're 18.
I
And
did.
so I'm like, oh, but I don't know why it's weird. I'm working on
You
that.
got to work on that
I
one.
know.
I think when my oldest turned 9, I was sort of like, oh my, I only have him. I've had him half of his life. Like, I only have him left.
Yes.
And now all my kids are over that age. So, what we're trying to do as a family is like, this summer we did not do like a really great job with vacation. We like let
Okay,
baseball and all
same.
these other
Yes.
things. And we did get away for a few days, but that's it.
But
And
did it really feel like a getaway?
No, it did
okay,
not.
Same.
Like flying out at 6 a.m. one day, and like in a few days we're back home.
Yes.
And we said, we've got to stop this.
Yes.
And my husband and I were out on the trail and having a discussion. I was like, I really want us to like already put our next year on the calendar, what we're going to do. And then if anybody says like, oh, well, we have this or we have this. We were just going to say, sorry.
Right.
Like, are we going to miss some lifting workouts for some sport?
Uh-huh.
Are we maybe even going to miss a game? Are we going to miss this or this? Yes.
Yes.
Am I going to miss something at work? 100%.
Yes.
But I'm going to put it on the calendar now, and I'm going to have no regrets.
So have you already blocked it?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yeah, which is now, and I feel fairly, we've never done this before. I feel fairly certain that we're going to be okay.
Are we booked? Like, do
No,
we know?
haven't booked,
Okay.
but it's on the calendar.
Okay.
And I think
That's
we
half the
will
battle.
try to book soon.
Yes.
Soon-ish.
Because we didn't do it either. We were waiting for all the baseball things going into high school, the tryouts,
Yes.
the whatevers. Oh shit! And I'm like, oh my god, the summer is
The
like
dead
over.
weeks, the-
Yes. Do we have to adhere? I don't know. And all of a sudden we're like, we have 4 days.
Yes, here we go.
To get away.
And that just isn't enough.
No, it's not.
You're barely like there.
Mm-hmm.
You've hardly gotten your kids in a place where they will actually like talk to you about
Right.
what's happening. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is hard.
Yes.
And some people do it really well. Like
I'm
people
not that
around me,
person.
and I'm like, good job.
I know.
And then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
not me.
But it's okay. We'll figure it out.
We will. We
Okay,
can.
you brought up trails. So I know you're a runner. I hate to run, only unless somebody's chasing me with an
Yes.
axe. Is somebody going?
Yes.
Am I going to run? But where is your favorite place to run?
So we actually live right off the trail.
Okay.
I know if I go south on the trail, exactly how far it is for a run. If I go north, I have trained. Last year I ran the New York Marathon. I trained on this same, like, get on the trail,
Okay.
go up all the way past, I like Premier Dermatology up into Bentonville,
Okay.
10 miles, and that's back another 10 miles. Like, the trail and I are friends.
That's amazing.
Friends.
So you did the New York Marathon?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that the first or many?
No, it wasn't my first, but it was probably my last. I ran more races when I was younger.
And are you legitimately racing?
No.
Or are you just
Oh, no, this is
running
not a race.
to finish?
I would never finish.
Okay.
I would never place.
Okay.
Absolutely. Never place.
But are you
in
so
anything,
proud of
even in local.
yourself?
Yes, it's so wonderful. The feeling is, it doesn't, during the race and after a long run, the runs during the week, awful. When I get done, I'm like, let's have a mimosa and celebrate. Let us have big brunch.
Yes.
Because we have run. So it's a run to eat thing, maybe.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I would never win. I'm not that fast. I'm super average. And
Is it ever hard? Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
are
it is
a runner.
so hard.
Do you get those endorphins and get settled into thing and you're like, I don't even know I'm
let
running.
people
I'm just
treat-
floating.
Now, there are some people, I work with people who are like just amazing fast
Yes.
runners. It is hard for me.
Okay.
Not like a half marathon, but once I start getting past, there was a point somewhere about 18 to 20 where I'm just like, what am I doing?
18 to 20 miles in,
Yeah.
and you're questioning it at
Yes,
that point.
yes,
No,
and,
finish.
and you're thinking like,
No.
I have to finish this.
You
but,
have
like,
to finish.
Like, how much longer would it take me
And
if I
that's
just stopped and
hours.
walked? But if you stop and walk, it's like
Oh,
even worse.
for
like
sure.
your legs are like,
Yes.
no, I can't run again.
Yes.
So it is, yeah. I think
It's
I
awesome.
ran New
I
York.
think it's awesome.
I'm not fast enough to qualify, so that will tell you how average I am. My husband's run it multiple times because he qualified, Boston, all the things.
Wow.
So I've been to New York
Okay.
to see him run. Also, we have another friend that had qualified. And so about 5 years ago, I started putting my name in this lottery for New York because it's an amazing race. You run through all the boroughs.
It looks awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it really was a great race. But last year, or no, I guess it would have been, I had just gotten this job. I've been in this job for like 9 months, and it was a hard job.
Yeah, it
And I
changed. You changed into
changed.
this job
Yes.
right after I featured
That's
you.
right.
And I was
Yes.
like, well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. Maybe it's why. Just be
Yes.
featured in Casey's magazine, you're getting promoted. So I just maybe like 9 months before taking this job, and it was like it's a pretty hard job.
It is a huge job.
It's a big job. And I got this email that was like, you've qualified, or you're not qualified, you've been drawn for the New York Marathon. And I said to myself, when am I going to train for this thing?
But were you already pretend training?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I was
because
running.
you run.
Yes, yeah, you run, 5 miles on a day.
Is that the average run?
Yeah, I
in
think
the
people run
afternoons
3 to
for
5.
you?
Yeah, 3
Okay.
to 5 miles. Depending on the day, how much time, how hot it is.
Oh my
It's
God.
been really hot lately.
It's
You
been
might
really
see me
hot.
walking on the trail. But yeah, I was thinking like, should I do this? Should I didn't? And then another friend of ours got in. He got in, one of my husband's friends, and I was like, I
That's a
guess I'm
sign.
training.
We're doing it.
And the worst part was my husband he just had surgery. He had just had a pretty major surgery, and he's my training partner. Even though he's a lot faster than me, he will take one for the team, and he will run with me.
Okay.
He's done that for
Sweet.
a lot. It's so sweet. It's super kind.
Because that's probably painful for
I think it's a little bit.
runner.
I think it is a little bit painful for him, but he also enjoys the time with
Yes.
me, and I enjoy the time with him. But I knew he couldn't train with me. I was like, I'm on my own for this one. And then our other friend that got in, he's super fast, so there was no training with him. I think he ran 1 or 2 long runs with me, and he would left me at some point. But I knew I was going to be on my own, and I was a little nervous. Could I actually do it? I'd never trained for a race, a half marathon, a full marathon, and even running races. I don't think I'd ever run a race without my husband. He would run. One time he had run the Chicago Marathon. He had a broken foot, and we were in Dallas in December running the BMW, and he was like, "You go ahead and go on. I know you're ready." And I PR'd. It was the only time I've ever beat the man in a race, and it was only because he was running on a broken foot.
I don't care. Claim it.
Yes, yeah.
Claim it.
But so I did the New York Marathon, and it was great. But when I got done, the thing that I recognized is I didn't have enough time to run the length that I needed during the week.
Okay.
So there's weeks that you need to run 7 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles a day. And I wasn't getting that in, so the race was harder than it needed to be. And I said, I don't know if I can do it again, but I'll see. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I say that, and then I get on a whim, and maybe I'll do it. I don't know.
What's your next? Okay, let's say you're dying to run another one. Where?
No, I don't think, if I was going to run a full again, I'd like to
Is there a bucket list?
No, I like, they're all, no, for me it's which one's fastest.
Okay.
I mean, I'm never going to get into Boston.
Do they have a lottery? Or that is
I don't know.
creme
I
de la
think
creme?
it's the creme de la creme.
Okay.
You can run, I would run Dallas, it's super flat.
Oh, nice. I don't want to run hill. I don't want to run, period. I don't know why I would even say that. That's hilarious.
It helps me, getting out on the trail helps me kind of clear my mind a little bit.
Yeah, do you zone out?
And not worry so much, yeah.
Do you see people you know?
If I do, yeah, I see people I know.
Do they leave you alone?
Nobody talks to me.
Nice.
Most people kind of look. I smile at people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something to do with the 10-foot rule at Walmart. Also on the trail, I feel like I need to maybe not say hello to every person because there's a lot, but at least smile.
Yes.
Maybe a little small hand wave.
Right, but that's a southern thing too.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, well, let's talk about Northwest Arkansas. Do you have a favorite food?
So I absolutely love chips and salsa.
Aside from snacks.
Kinds.
Okay.
And it is, I have to keep myself away from the local lime.
Okay, that's your go-to.
They have this little salsa trio.
Yes,
Yes. They have a fantastic margarita.
They do.
And
You can
all
only
of the
have
food
one.
on the menu is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that for me is a real pleasure. I also I really like MJ's Pizza.
I do too.
Oh, it's so good
I
down
do
in
too. I hate
Springfield.
driving down there.
I know, right? But when you get
But
there,
I
it's
really like it,
so
and I kind of
good.
feel like I'm out of town.
Yes.
I don't never see anyone
I know, right?
and it's
That's
very
right.
amazing.
I love Atlas in Fayetteville.
I have not been there, but I've heard
You
amazing
need to
things
go.
about
It's
it.
fantastic.
Are you a foodie?
I love food.
Okay.
And one of the things is my husband and I, we like to travel to places where we can try different food,
Mm-hmm.
hit Michelin star restaurants. So food is always on the agenda. I like to make a reservation so that I don't even
I don't like to wait.
yeah,
No.
get in there, have a
Yes.
full experience.
Yes.
So yes, there's not a lot of food that I don't like.
Okay. So I probably don't have to ask this question. I would say sweet or savory, but I think you're savory.
I'm very savory.
Based on your snack
I'm very
obsession.
savory. The only thing that's interesting is sometimes when I'm done with these great savory meals, I'm like, oh, I just want a little touch of
something.
dessert, a little
Mhm.
sweet.
Do you
but
have a
I would
favorite
choose,
dessert?
Creme brulee.
Okay.
A really good creme brulee.
Oh.
Yeah. I know
Somebody
it's
in
kinda
town
hard.
has a chocolate one, but I
Oh,
can't
interesting.
remember who it is.
I'm not a chocolate fan, which sounds weird because I do like an Oreo, but
That's
I
a good.
don't drink coffee.
find that to be a bad thing.
I don't drink coffee, and I don't like dark chocolate, and mostly in general don't like chocolate type of desserts.
Okay. You don't drink coffee. Do you drink any caffeine?
Yes, this is my bad vice.
Okay.
So-
oh yeah, well that's on here.
Yeah, I used to drink, young in my career, Mountain Dew it up.
Oh,
I don't know. I think that
okay.
was a young thing.
For sure,
now
it totally
I think
was.
it's a bad thing, but it was a bad thing because I got kidney stones really early, and I went and I got them twice. Both times sent me to the ER. It was so bad.
I heard it's worse. I didn't
bad.
give birth. My babies were cut out, but I've heard the kidney stones are worse than childbirth.
The pain made me physically sick.
Okay.
So I went there, and then they sent me to a urologist, and he was like, "Ma'am, I thought you were going to be like an older lady because of how much buildup you have in there." He was like, "You've got to stop drinking these bad drinks." And weirdly enough, I was able to do it. So I was like on straight no caffeine for years.
Did you not get a headache?
No, I went with it. I was young and I went with
Okay.
it. Then the pandemic happened.
Okay.
When the pandemic happened at work, I was working in consumables leading health and
Yes.
wellness. And
Still the left side of the store.
and so we got in there and we started COVID. And when COVID started, all of a sudden I was at home with my 3 kids and we were buying product and having calls with Asia late in the night, getting up early, getting my kids on their Chromebooks. I was not leaving the house. We were sneaking out. We were getting on the trail. I needed a little break.
For sure.
But all of a sudden, like one day, we're probably like 3 weeks into this school from home. Both of us
but we
working
were
from
supposed
home.
to go back in 2 weeks.
Yes, I know. And I was like, I told my husband, I'm putting on a mask and I'm driving to the Casey's and I don't know.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I got a sugar-free Red Bull. And pretty much every day, there's very few non-days. Since then, I've had 1 sugar-free Red Bull, and every once in a while, number 2 comes out in the afternoon. I try not to ever do that, but there are a few days.
Okay.
So my bad vice
Is Red
this
Bull.
sugar, and it has to be sugar-free. And thanks to Melody Richard and team, Red Bull brought they've always forever 1 flavor, like drinking this light blue can, 8
Right,
ounce,
yes. There's a whole
every day
rainbow of cans now.
Now they've added a watermelon and they've added a strawberry apricot.
Were you blowing
and
her
I'm
up? Like, give me some more
thankful.
flavors?
Yes, a guy on our team, his name is Will McDonald. I sent him a note and I was like, "Thank you, thank you for finally doing this. This is amazing." And so that's my bad vice.
Okay.
And a good glass of red wine.
Oh,
Always.
that is not a bad vice.
That's
though.
a great
They say
one.
it's heart healthy.
I think it is too.
So it's
right?
fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that your favorite cocktail?
Yes.
Is it
So,
red wine?
Yeah, I don't drink
Okay.
hard liquor. I will drink an occasional margarita. With
Does
tequila.
that really even count?
No, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
I don't think it does.
But red wine is
Which
my
red?
vice. Big cabs.
Okay. I like cabs too.
I'm good for a Pinot on certain things with certain meals. Yeah.
But mostly a cab.
Yes.
I don't drink red in the summer.
No, a rosé.
A rosé.
I've switched. So
yes.
I wasn't a rosé drinker, but we spent enough time in Sonoma and Napa and out in Tuscany and Italy that
It's so
rosé.
light and refreshing,
Yes.
but I will be honest, I was on it for years.
Yes.
And then I went over to tequila and I haven't gone back yet.
Oh, see.
But I'm like, I never knew I was a tequila person, so I'm like heavy on the tequila now. But I had a glass of cab a few weeks
Yes.
ago at MJ's.
Okay.
Ironically.
Yes.
And I was like, it was cold in there. I was cold. And it
felt
just
good.
worked. Yes. And I
I
was
know.
like, oh,
yeah,
I've
the
missed
red
you.
definitely goes down in the summertime, unless you're like at a restaurant for dinner with a big meal. But yeah,
Right. I'm
during
like, no.
it's so hot.
It's so hot. I can't have a cab
No.
in the summer, typically.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so red wine. I like that.
I
And a
know.
cab. Yeah, Pinot Noir. I used to be Pinot Noir. No.
Yeah. Change over time.
A little bit. Okay, place to run. Let's see. What does a Friday night look like? So,
Yeah.
no one plays, well, Will plays football, but he's little,
Yes.
so he's not Friday Night Lights
Yes.
yet. So what does a
Well,
Friday night look
what's
like
that in the in the springtime? There's usually baseball on Friday
Baseball.
night, and in the fall there's a couple. But what's wonderful is this is going to be probably like the first fall because my oldest played many more sports. He's just settled this year into one, where Friday nights for us are going to be like a little bit free, where we can come home and relax. And I like to decompress on a Friday night. Like if we're going to do something with friends, let's do it on Saturday
Right.
night. So for us, we're big patio people.
I love a patio.
And we can sit on our back patio and enjoy it. My husband over time has added like heaters. We have a big outdoor fireplace that's built into our patio. So all season long, we will sit out there unless there's snow.
Right.
And just enjoy the fire, turn on the TV maybe. My husband is a fantastic cook.
Okay.
Thankfully, he's taken that up. In my space, I've got like some southern casseroles, but outside of that, I've still yet to figure out how to get the grill to work properly. the girl's fault for sure.
Obviously.
Not mine.
No.
I bought an air fryer. I still haven't really got that to work exactly how I know people say
I've
it's
had
easy,
one for
but
years, and I just started using it. I'm like, oh, okay, now
Yeah,
I think I
maybe
need a bigger one.
yeah, okay, maybe for some. So I'm still figuring it out. So he's the cook.
Okay.
So he will typically grill something or cook something, and we will just veg out.
I love that.
And it's
are we up early
wonderful.
Saturday with all the things?
I mean, always.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like there's not a day of real sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from time to time. Last weekend we had one day. It was wonderful.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to sort of like plot around.
Yes.
But, you know, we're big Razorback fans too. So once we're getting started in the next few weeks, it's definitely, this week starts Will's football. So
Oh, okay. And where are they playing at?
So they
Did
like
it
play
used to
at
be
the
at
different
AAO?
Yeah, it used to be at AAO.
Okay.
But now they have they like play at the actual high school fields on
Oh, that's cool
Saturdays.
for those kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an awesome
So
experience.
we'll switch to different fields.
Okay.
all
And then Olivia, she's dancing.
dancing.
Is this the like psycho dance, like where the travel dance?
Yeah, travel dance. This is her third or fourth year to do that. And so in the fall, they just have like practice, choreography camp, all the things. And then when January hits, then that's the
season.
travel.
Okay.
You know, we're in Kansas City and Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas, all kind of around for this.
Do you do that? Do you block that out and handle
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Are you the dance mom?
I have handled it.
Okay.
I will tell you, like, I have a great village too. But like last year, I had a couple times. I flew directly from China to Kansas City.
Because that's fun.
Because that was great. And it actually snowed. It was kind of crazy. But to get to her dance thing, and I didn't miss any dances. I was really happy. I was pleased with that one.
That's impressive.
I came back from India on a Friday night, and my husband, he was really kind. He drove us to Branson on Saturday morning because I was kind of in a different time zone.
Were you?
Yeah. So I already know our dance place is fantastic, and I already know the exact schedule that she has for the spring.
Okay.
It's on my calendar. So as travel starts to happen, then what I will do is say, great, yes, I can go here, I can do this, but I have to be back by this time because I want to be there.
Yes.
And on baseball, because on travel dance, there's only like 5 different travels or 6.
Okay.
So it's not crazy. Baseball, which, as you know, is all fall, all spring, all summer, every weekend. Like if I have to miss there a little bit,
Right.
it's a little bit more understandable.
I totally agree. I used to not,
Me too, yeah.
but I have developed. I'm like, it's okay. Also, I have more than one kid.
That's right. And you're going to play at least 3,
Yes.
4,
We're
5
in for
games a
3
weekend.
minimum.
Yes.
Right.
So it's okay to miss a
We're
few of them.
okay. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, well, it's fine. He did hit 2 home runs. Yeah. No, this was a long time.
And you
This
weren't
was
there.
at Cast. I wasn't there.
I know you feel bad, right?
Hurry up, Game Changer.
But now on Game Changer, a lot of these parents are fantastic for us, and they video it. So you can just pull that video clip out. And it's almost like you were
thank you.
there.
It's like I was totally there.
At
Travel.
Kessler, wow, good.
Yeah, it was at Kessler. It was 12U, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't gone. They do have good food at Kessler.
Yes,
I
they
will say
do.
that.
The best.
They have a good
That one
snack
at
bar.
and that other one in Fayetteville. I can't remember. Yeah, good snack bar.
Yeah, I'm like, that's how you know that's a good part.
Yes.
Based on. Do you have barbecue nachos or do you
That's
not?
right. Do you have that brat from Iowa?
The brat. The Kessler brats are so good. I'm not
Sad
gonna
that
lie.
we know this.
The travel. So India, China. Is it pretty extensive for you?
Yeah, I think one of the things that in my job that's important is the supplier community.
Okay.
And forming relationships with them, helping them know that we want to be strategic with them, that Walmart wants to be their partner of choice. And I think sometimes that comes out in different times, and sometimes it hasn't. But in my roles, as I lead my team, I want that to be really important. And so from a travel standpoint, what I've tried to do is I try to schedule out key suppliers for all, like we're coming into the time when we'll schedule it out for next year. And what I like to do is I like them to come to me one time, and then I have a good group of suppliers that I'm saying, I'm going to come to you. Like, you don't have to always come to me. And that means sometimes East Coast, sometimes West Coast, sometimes middle of the country. It also means going to some countries that are not in the U.S., particularly in the business that I'm in today. I have a good portion of suppliers that might have business in factories and other places. And so building relationships with them is important, and talking to their leaders directly about the strategic relationship and how we want to continue to grow over years. So there's quite a bit of travel in my role.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Do you check off some foodie places while you're doing that?
Yeah, I have a great global sourcing team, and they know sort of like the things that I like, and they're great at saying they live in these countries, and they'll say, "Hey, let's try this cool restaurant."
Okay,
or,
good.
Let's do this. So we do try to check off some boxes of fantastic
You
food.
might as well.
Yes.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
We're not always hopping across to India.
Exactly right.
So it's not a regular
That's
route.
right. And when I'm there, the team knows I like to just, if we're going to be there, let's just pack it in. And so let's
Absolutely.
get up early. Let's go and visit suppliers. Let's go to their global sourcing offices, see the teams that we have to only see by Zoom frequently. And then let's just keep plowing through. Let's go to a meal. Like, let's just
love it.
make this day strong. We'll sleep on the 20 plus hour
absolutely.
flight back.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
we're dead, that's fine.
That's what we always
Yeah.
say, yes,
Yeah.
when we did.
Do you have a hidden talent? Everybody would be surprised to know.
I don't have a lot of hidden
I
talents.
don't either.
I really
like
don't think I have any hidden talents. I do. The 2 things that really, decompress me outside of just like being with my family in the bubble. Sometimes I like to be in the bubble with my family. Just we're at
Yes,
dinner together.
yes.
We try to sit down for meals together
Yes.
as many nights as we can. But the things that relax me, which are not talented, are I like to run. It's a relaxer. It just clears my
I
mind.
think that takes talent. I'm
And
not
I
gonna lie.
really like to read.
Ooh.
Yeah, I am on a streak. I've read every single week for the last. I think I'm up to like 60-something weeks. It doesn't mean that I don't read every day. I don't have the opportunity, but I like to read everything.
Really?
I like to read. I love to read biographies about people, like everything from like Indra Nooyi to Britney Spears. I like to read just like a random beach novel.
Okay, do you read, or do you audible?
I read.
Okay, I
found that
read
one
too.
talent I definitely don't have is comprehending books on Audible.
I don't.
My
I can't
mind
even.
drifts.
And I miss my turn.
Yes, I'm not.
Yes. I can't
not
zero
good.
in.
And I have a lot of people are really good at that. I'm not.
I'm not. They're like, well, you get to hear it in their voice. And I'm like, doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
don't know what they
Yes,
just said.
exactly right.
Then I don't know how to rewind it. So I'm
Yes.
like, that doesn't work for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a beach read person.
Me too.
I haven't gotten into the biography, self-help, anything to truly educate and better
Yes.
myself. It
Yeah.
is like, tell me how so-and-so cheated on so-and-so, or you opened a bookstore and everyone ended up happy.
That's right. Yeah. Everybody ended up happy. I think that's a little decompression. I have tried. I'm not good at reading self-help, but I do love one podcast. A guy named Jay Shetty is his name.
Hilarious.
Love Jay.
Yes.
And that is sometimes on my, if I don't listen to music on the trails, I'm listening to Jay Shetty.
Okay.
Interview people
Yes.
or talk about like things that I should be doing to better help myself. It doesn't mean that I'm going
No,
to
that's
do
good,
it.
though. I
but
haven't gotten
sometimes
there
I
yet.
like to hear it.
Yes.
And he did teach me about like some breathing techniques that one time I was like,
Oh, I should try
okay,
that.
I'll try
Yes.
that. No, it doesn't,
No, I'm like a Dateline, and then I have to keep going so that we can solve this mystery.
Yes.
Like I can't really
Yes.
go in just because my watch has told me it's time
Exactly
to go
right.
in. I'm like,
Yes.
oh well, did he kill her or not?
Yes,
I
right?
need to know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm working. It's all things I'm working on. Okay, let's end with this one. At 13, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah, I really, at 13, I think there was like a mix of an accountant. My dad is very finance driven, and I always felt like
Do
he's
you
like
love
very
numbers?
accountant. I actually don't really love
Oh,
numbers.
okay. I'm like,
so it's
I
sort
hate
of
them.
weird. I think, or a stay at home mom.
Uh-huh.
And when I think about why at 13 I would have wanted either of those roles, I think I really looked up to my parents
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And I'm very thankful for them. And in the time I was like, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I ask my kids who are 10 and 15 what they want to do, nobody is like really leaning towards anything that
They
Keith
don't
and I
want to be
do.
you.
They are more like still trying to figure it out, like MLB baseball players.
For sure, yes.
And
We're
so-
going pro.
Yeah. I was just sort of looking at those boards that you make when they're coming in their first day of school, and they are a lot. My oldest, there was one, I must have like really conned him in when he was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that said lawyer on it. So I probably
nice,
was like,
nice.
I probably was like,
You're like,
referencing,
you like to argue,
I was
so put that.
referencing back the Sports Illustrated kids where only a certain amount of people actually make it to MLB, and was like, let's be realistic here. But no, that was
So
it.
good.
But I'm thankful for the journey, and where we've come as a family, where I am as a human. Thankful for the village that surrounds me and the people.
We can't do it without the village.
No,
but also it's meet everyone where they're at.
Definitely, because we're all in different stages. And some days you'll see me and I'm like in a great place, and some days like my mom will say we're going to do this, and I'm like I don't think I can do that. She's like, yeah.
I was frazzled yesterday. I was having a moment. And
I
it was
think
just
I
a
was
Monday,
this morning
and I was
too.
just like, I was talking to my mom, and then my phone was blowing up and text, and I'm like, then somebody got out early from something, and I'm like, balls! The last 5 minutes, I just want to run off and park the car. Like this.
Yes.
What is this? What has happened? Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to stay like just calm through it all. I think the fact that both of us have said like we're just sort of like at a period in our life where we let stuff roll off our back. Like,
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a good spot.
It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
fun.
I'm so excited. This was good because I did want to talk about work-life pretend balance and being a mom because it is very important to us. And so I really appreciate your time out today.
Yes.
Good luck on the driving test this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm
Lots of
hopeful. It's
prayers
gonna be good.
your direction so
Yes.
he can roll up into that high school on 2 wheels tomorrow.
Here we go. Hopefully on 4.
And good luck to the littles in 5th grade. It's going to be a great year.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining the Who What Where podcast and keep inspiring a culture of giving. See y'all later.